Hello, good evening. I'm Nikki Chance-Thompson. I'm the Chief Executive of the glorious Peace Hall here in Halifax. And it's been big cat news this week. We've seen various sightings of a black panther around the whole area of Halifax, Wayne House Tower, the Peace Hall, Dean Clough. There isn't a place that the black cat hasn't been seen, or the black Rottweiler, or the Alsatian, or any other types of sightings around the area. But wherever it's been and whatever it's done, it's left a very big media footprint. And I'm pleased to reveal tonight that thanks to the efforts of various groups of people, the mystery has now been solved. And there are 2 cats, not 1 cat, in the area. And that's why the cat was able to get around everywhere that it could. And we've been absolutely delighted. The media coverage has been amazing for the town. The cat's a hero, really. In fact, the 2 cats are the town's heroes. And I'm very pleased tonight to introduce not the 1 cat, but the 2 cats. So would the 2 cats like to join the stage? You've got to go that way.
Whoa.
And it's always brilliant when 2 heritage brands come together. So we've been delighted to work with the Halifax Rugby League team to officially launch their new name for 2021 and beyond. We could say it's been the Cat's Whiskers. Sorry. So I'm proud to announce that the Halifax Panthers now have their home in Halifax. And for those viewers who are watching from home, we now have a very short video for you to watch.
Sighting of what appears to be
of a large cat around Halifax. Appears to be a panther.
Welcome to the new era of Halifax rugby. The Panthers are in town.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Peace Hall for a very exciting and proud day for this great rugby league club. No longer is it Halifax RLFC, now it is Halifax Panthers, and we're going to get to know a little bit more about this scheme and why exactly the club is going down a new course of direction. Let's take you to our first group of people to answer all the questions about this. Nikki, I'm going to come to you first. Thank you for being here. It's been an unbelievable piece of history in Halifax, really, with everything that's gone on in the last week. Just talk us through this scheme and this project and how it's actually gone down.
Well, I think that the scheme and project has been incredible. What intrigue has been created around the new name of this really, really important Halifax club. We've seen sightings all over the area, including Todmorden, apparently. And I'm told today that the Daily Star have picked the story up about this panther. And I've lost count of the Twitter messages, the Facebook messages and personal messages that I've received asking me to reveal all about the panther. We've had people have real concern that they might get attacked at the Peace Hall by the panther, through to others that wondered whether or not it's a hangover from the zoo that used to be in the Peace Hall, and is it a ghost panther? I think it's been an incredible campaign, very worthy of a really important rugby club. It's really given some distraction, I think, to a community who have been in this pandemic for a long time with very little to distract them other than perhaps going to the supermarket or worrying about the next tier system. So all credit to the club, and we've been very proud to be involved with this project, and it's brought a lot of fun.
When you were first told about it, when the club first got in contact with you, what was your thought process at first?
I just thought it was a lot of fun. I'm quite hard, I find it incredibly hard to keep secrets, so it's been hard for me to keep my mouth shut about it. I'm a bit of a leaky sieve, but I knew how important it was for the club to have this, the name change and the announcement. And I think that the build-up has been fascinating, and what a good case study for launching a brand and creating intrigue. So all credit to the club and to Lee for coming up with it.
What can this do for not just the rugby club, but for the town, the interest that this has generated, and also the commercial opportunities of having a brand like this in the town?
Well, I think for the town, it helps put the town on the map. People become inquisitive around what's going on in Halifax. Are there Panthers? What's the Peace Hall? I think a campaign like this really shines a light on this town and the abundance of assets that we have in it, because a lot of the assets of the town were featured in all the various sightings on CCTV, like the Peace Hall and Dean Clough. And the commercial opportunities mean that people will be curious. I think it gives the fans a lot of pride, the players a lot of pride, and what a great name of a legendary club to have something as important as a panther associated with it. So I wish the club all the success with its commercial venture, and things like this help build a brand and give a brand a value and a worth. So again, all credit to the team for coming up with such a great campaign.
And just before I let you go, can you clarify for anyone who isn't quite certain yet, there definitely isn't an actual panther roaming the streets of Halifax?
I can't do that because there may be. Who knows what we've bought off the internet in lockdown? No, I can honestly confirm that, to the best of my knowledge, there isn't a wild cat roaming the streets of Calderdale, other than perhaps mine, because I haven't fed him properly.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Lee, I'm going to move on to you, the Media and Marketing Director at the club. You've played a big part in this and creating this, and right from its infancy, deciding what direction it would go in. So how did you come up with this, and how would you gauge the success of the actual project that you've taken part in so far, that's actually been the launch of the Halifax Panthers?
Oh, thanks, Matt. Well, I guess the background is around 60, 70 days ago, the board asked me to join as Media and Marketing Director. And to be fair, at that point, there'd already been a push internally to say that we need to have this rebrand in order really to freshen things up, to keep fans coming, to attract maybe lapsed fans, but then also attract that younger audience. So kudos probably on the Panthers name kind of came back probably from a couple of years ago with Jamie on our media team and conversations. So being able to be part of a team, and it really was a team from external partners like the Courier, Peace Hall, Dean Clough, Eclipse Energy, they've just been absolutely fantastic from the beginning. If we go back to the Panther sightings and go back to the roots, the history of this club is vital. So some people will think new name, oh, don't they care about the past? We absolutely passionately. And actually the Panther being a black cat, well, a lot of people will, well, maybe not know this, especially on Facebook, is the very first mascot for Halifax Rugby League was something called Smut the Cat, a black factory cat. So it's really, we're talking about evolution. We're talking about almost Darwin-like evolution in terms of scale, because little black smut back then, has really grown and just been more modern, which is what we want for the game.
And the panther itself has a bright orange eye, which I only assume is a acknowledgement to the cat's eyes.
Yeah, I think if Halifax is famous for probably a lot of things now, ingenuity, creativity, its industrial heritage, and of course Percy Shaw, the cat's eyes across the world, really the origination, if that's the right word. Absolutely. It's something that I think people felt very passionate about, giving that nod to history whilst we now plough this road going forward.
Talk to me about the actual metrics and the results you've seen of this campaign, because I'm sure you expected it to be the talk of Halifax, but maybe not quite make it to the national press as it has done.
Yeah, as a marketer, typically there's one rule that stands true, which is when you try and create something to go viral, it falls flat on its face. Yeah, it's the things that are just really genuine that seem to work. But actually, this is caught everybody's imagination, and people will see that the rugby club hasn't really touched the media all week. We've just worked with partners in terms of the Courier. We talked to them. We talked to Stephen at the Peace Hall with Nikki. And the first reaction we got was just great. We absolutely need this light. We want to push forward. So our metrics, I guess, would be its ability to reach a new audience. Have we been able to reach people? And of course, now through this broadcast, there's going to be a lot of pennies dropping a lot of, oh, this is what it's about. Well, that's just really demonstrating to people to take a second look, because that's what we want. We want those people who maybe have fallen out of love with the game to think, okay, they're doing things differently at the club. You know, maybe it is time to have another look. Or for those kids, we've got 1,000 kids, Matt, 1,000 kids registered playing rugby league. So it's about making sure that they come in, and that'll be our ultimate metric, is bums on seats come March, April, whenever that is. But in terms of impressions, gosh, I think that this week, the last number I saw was, I think we're way in excess of 300, maybe 350,000 people have seen this week alone. And that's just going to keep going and going. And I should also point out that I mentioned this team effort. We've obviously got the teams we've mentioned and the team internally, of which you're going to meet another one as well. But we've also had really fantastic, just phenomenal help from a few people. Bullion, Big Picture Company. We couldn't have done any of that without all this kind of teamwork.
Steve, let me move on to you, commercial director of the club. Like many people associated with Halifax, you've had a long-standing association with it. You've been a fan throughout your life. It's a bold venture from the club to do this. Why, in your mind, is this the right time to do it?
Well, you said I've been a fan for a long time. And actually, I watched my first game in 1954. I was taken to Wembley, and more worryingly, I was taken to the replay at Odsal. So a 2-year-old, so you can work the math out, you can work me out. So I was taken to that game as well. So I've been about for a long time as a supporter. I used to live at Illingworth. I used to walk to the games up to Thrum Hall, and then as a sponsor, and then as an associate director, and now it's come full circle and a director again. It's the way for the club to go now, because we're on a downward spiral. You know, like many rugby league clubs were, our attendances were dropping ever so slightly every year. We had to do something about it, and there are lots of things, I guess, that you can do, but not in strange times like this. So it's a bit off the wall what we've done, but however, we're all firmly behind it. I think you've got to look back a little bit though. In the last 18 months, 2 years, the dynamic of the board has changed quite dramatically. You know, with the work that Dave and Lawrence and other people have been doing, our position as a rugby league club has we've got stronger. We're able to make decisions a little bit ahead of the game. And one of the decisions was that we need to definitely get more people through the gate. The branding was Jamie's idea, I think, and some of his colleagues as well. And we thought it was the right way to go. So commercially, in support of our commercial partners as well, we needed to do something, and this is just the right time. Everything came together just at the right time.
And commercially, what opportunities does this open for the club to really try and drive forward into a new era and attract a new generation of supporters?
Well, I think first, what it does initially is that it hardens and stiffens the relationship with our current sponsors. I've had 5 phone calls today from sponsors, key sponsors, who know what's going on. We've taken them in our confidence, and they're all behind it. They think it's very dynamic of us to be doing this sort of thing. So I think it, first of all, strengthens that relationship with those established people. People are not queuing up outside the Shea every Monday morning wishing to give us money. These people have worked hard, they've got money, they're sponsoring the club, and they do want something in return. This is now we can elevate it a little bit, give them a little bit more in return, give them a better profile of the club, whether it's for their customers, their staff, if it's for their image that they want to produce in Halifax. I think there's so much more that we can do for them now as Panthers than we could probably do before. And in the last 2 weeks, I've had nothing to do with the Panthers, nothing at all to do with the Panthers, but a couple of nationals, one in finance, one in the construction industry, who've been talking to us about the foundation, what we can do there with things like the wheelchair rugby, the academy, the interaction with the local clubs, the whole of that. They wanted their profile within Halifax, they're wanting to increase that. And they see the rugby club as a way that they can do it cost effectively.
Let me move on to Richard. You've played a really influential role in getting this to where it is. It's here now. It's surreal, exciting. What are your emotions right now?
Yeah, it's relief. And we've had a good team that's made it easier than what it would have been. Yeah, I mean, it feels a long time since we started the project, I'll be honest, even though it's only a couple of months, we seem to fit a lot of things in that time. Hopefully you can see some of the benefits of that as you look at the video and other areas, and the badge particularly was something that was kind of early on in the piece, which was really exciting. So yeah, listen, the team have been fantastic. It's made it a lot easier. It's been a bit of a journey, but overall, I mean, very excited, but yeah, a hint of relief as well.
Just sort of elaborate on the process that this has been. As you said, a lot's happened in a quick space of time. At the same time, there has been a lot of manpower, a lot of effort put in to make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, the process and how it started was really the board asking me to get involved from a project manager's side more than anything, because I'm not, brand and things like that, and the video was not my bag. It's really about logistically getting the right people in the right place. Mm-hmm. We haven't had a better opportunity than this in terms of our personnel, I've got to be honest, in the time I know the club. Lee has been, instrumental, his expertise, along with Johnny, my brother. To be honest with you, on a limited budget, we're a part-time club, we haven't got an endless pot, and we've really tapped into people who have really helped, and we've got a lot for our money in what I see. So it's been exciting, but there's been a lot of things we've had to sacrifice that we may have done if we had a bigger budget. But for what we've got and the time available, I think we've managed to do pretty well.
And just finally, before I let you go, what does this mean for no longer Halifax RLFC but Halifax Panthers? Where do you see this club going now?
Well, digitally, the world is changing, isn't it? I think we're seeing in lockdown. A lot of things now are online. We had to change. I don't think we could have survived long term as we were if we want to go forwards. So, yeah, like Lee said, it's trying not to lose the heritage of the club, but also put ourselves in a position to move forward and capture a younger audience where we may have lost a bit of a generation there. And the only way to do that nowadays, like I say, is online and be really brand aware.
Exciting times ahead. To the four of you, thank you very much. We're going to move on now to another four panellists and get their questions. But Liv.
I think as we transition, we mentioned that the people out in the social media, that area, they've been coming up with some absolutely hilarious memes and their own sightings. So I think as we transition off, I think Duncan's very kindly going to show a couple of those on screen for the people at home. Brilliant. Thank you.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed all those memes. There's been all sorts going around. It really has been the talk of the town. We've got four more gentlemen with me right now to talk us through this rebrand. I'm going to start with you, Dave, the managing director. It's been a long process. This, I know that we just said it's happened very quickly, but this hasn't been a discussion for 2 months, 3 months. This has been lingering in the pipeline for 2-3 years now, hasn't it?
It has. I think going back a while, we set up some volunteer groups. And part of that was a media marketing volunteer group, which was where really Jamie and his passion and his championing of the Panthers at the time was very much embryonic. And the club was going through some challenges itself away from branding and marketing, but it was worth pulling that group together. So that's where Richard and Johnny came on board. And obviously Jamie, and we sat down, had a look at it, explored the merits and the challenges it might bring, and came out on the side that the merits were definitely worth going after, and that's obviously what we've done. We had to park it for a while, as I mentioned earlier, but after that, once we managed to get some financial backing in terms of funding the project, it was full systems go. And, you know, the guys have done a great job, to be honest with you. I can't take plaudits for that. That's the work that everybody's done in terms of that media marketing team.
You mentioned the merits, and I suppose it's risk and reward, isn't it?
It is.
Talk us through what the club perceived to be the risk, but why the rewards ultimately outweighed them.
So the risks, obviously, in terms of, if you look at the demographics, age demographics of the club is 50 plus in terms of age, is alienating some of those people. I get that, and the board get that, but the reward is obviously that we're able to market the brand then in terms of to the younger end. We've probably missed, I think Richard said earlier, or somebody did about, we've missed a generation, possibly two. And we need to capture that, and the branding is part and parcel of that. The world's changed. We're in the 21st century now, and you know we absolutely have to move forward as a board and as a club, and the brand is a good hook for some of the younger end to come through. And as Lee's mentioned, 1,000 children playing rugby league in the Calderdale community. That's potentially 1,000 children plus the parents and the grandparents, so on and so forth. And you know, that's where we're going after in terms of trying to increase, you know, the reward.
So is this a case of using the Panthers as a way to try and engage in a more aggressive manner with schools, with community clubs, and try and get them back on board and associated with the club?
I think that's a really good question, and the answer to that quite simply is yes. I think another area that we've got within the club is a highly successful foundation, and you know, last year they were in the top 3 of the 25 Championship and League One foundations in for an award, and they're going to play a major part in this branding and getting that message out into the schools, the community clubs, the college, just everywhere. And that's really what we're going after. So there'll be a team effort between the club and also the foundation, and yes, the branding will be part of that.
Lawrence, he's sporting the new kit.
Yeah.
Chairman, it looks very nice, I must say. Talk to me where your mindset is with this now, because it has been brave, it has been bold, it's not been an easy choice. Where do you think this can take the club now that you've made the decision to go to the Panthers?
Well, it's a rebuild, isn't it? I first came across the whole idea when I joined Dave on the board just after the St Helens game. There'd been talk about it. People keep alluding to Jamie. Jamie came with the ideas, and the Panther you see behind me, I saw in June last year. And wow, I'm one of the older fossils. He refers to the people over 50. Well, I'm over 60. And the whole idea of a change to me was frightening. I resisted it. I want blue and white stripes. It's Halifax. Steve said, 1954. Well, I was born the year after, but I was born in Spring Grove, 400 yards away from Tramall. I went to games as a really young child. And we need a rebuild. The numbers have gone down. We've got to invigorate this town and its potential supporters. For those supporters of my age that think, I do not like this, I'm not going, I would say go, because it doesn't change the club. We've got a director of football and a coach sat next to me who have done an awesome job at getting a team that's going to have, and I'm sorry to put it this way, they're going to have some bite this next season. So why not have something with some jaws? I just think it's going to reinvigorate the town, the supporters. We've got a team that's going to surprise, and this is surprising a lot of people. I've bought into it. So all I would say is the people who think, oh no, buy into it. I have. It'll work. Believe me, it'll work. And look at all the wonderful things, and they make them to fit me, that you can buy for Christmas.
It's important to stress, just before we move on to the kit, that this isn't trying to move away from the past of the club.
Not in any way. No, not in any way. We're really proud of the history of this club.
Talk to me about the kit then, because it's obviously got the little claw stripes that we can all see there.
Well, okay. I'll stand up.
Should we get Greg to stand up as well?
There you go.
Let's get
the shirt, the kit's here because the sponsors. So the sponsors are all over. Yeah, we've embroidered, by the way, for those that buy them. But we've got the sponsors. I've got to turn around because I know one of them on the back. Lawrence is too long a name to get on this. It's good quality. Again, we've got a really good kit supplier this year. We've replaced the old one. It's good quality kit. The sponsors are here. They've helped pay for it. Come on, guys. Go to the shop and buy it. It's available from Friday.
From Friday.
Yes, from Friday.
For Friday, the shop will be launching on Friday on the brand new looking website as well, I'm led to believe, which is exciting.
Yeah, indeed.
Let's move to Simon, head coach. Look, you're a proud Halifax man. You've played for the club. You coach the club now. I know that you've been very enthusiastic about this. I guess the simple question is why?
The why? A lot of reasons, really. Fan first. The late 90s, early 2000s. I started playing in the early 2000s, but a lot of fans down here, a lot of kids, and things have definitely changed. As they've looked before, I've mentioned we're in a digital world now, and everything's online. So I think having a more modern brand is more attractive to younger people, and everything else that they've said before is about getting to schools and communities. It's easier to do that with. I coach Sidlander under 11s we are now, and some place down there, and they're not talking about Halifax, unfortunately, and it's a stone's throw away, really. They're talking about Giants, Tigers, and Warriors, and so on. So I think it just opens a few more doors to us on that front.
And in terms of the club itself, it's had some relative on-field success in the last couple of years. You're now building your own squad for next year. Do you think that there is an opportunity here to really go off with a bang and start 2021 as you mean to go on?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. As Lauren said, change is scary for a lot of people because we hang on to, what we might lose. I think we need to see it as a real opportunity to reinvigorate again, as Lauren said, and get some more people interested in us and showcase what we've got. We've got a pretty decent stadium at our level, and we have managed to put together a good squad. And it'd be nice to, as you say, get back to rugby league and have a good fan base behind us.
And as you know from the recruitment you've done this year, along with Ian Crode, you've got that man sat next to you who was in demand. There's a lot of players who had a lot of offers that decided to come to Halifax. It is an attractive club still to the players.
Yeah, Greg will tell you more, but I think we lost a lot of players, and there was a bit of negativity around at the time as well. But for various reasons, some were our decisions, some were theirs. I think COVID's made everyone reassess, every walk of life. I think the lads we brought in I think the good players that are certainly going to make an impact. And obviously Greg sat next to me has been a great player for a long time at championship level, and I'm looking forward to seeing him get out there and take this new kit out, this new brand out there, and really be a new look team.
Greg, you've become the face of the Panthers with your role in the promotional video. Now you're wearing the kit. How excited are you to be a part of something like this, a brand new start for a club?
Obviously, coming to a new club, it's a fresh start in that sense anyway. But I think with the relaunch, everything going into it, everything's fresh. So it's been a great opportunity for myself to come down and seeing a bit of excitement about it. I'm pretty local to these parts. I'm just up on the hill in Queensbury, and see people talking about it. Funnily enough, my wife spoke to me today and said that a member of staff at the school she works at had been scared that there'd been a panther on loose in Halifax, so we had a bit of a giggle about that. But no, I think the rebranding's great. Like people have said before, the digital media side of it is a big thing now, and the brand's got to suit that, and getting the kids of this area sort of engrossed in the brand and getting them through the gates can only be a good thing for the town and for the team.
And you're one of many Halifax lads in the team. We will credit you as an Halifax lad. He wants to be an Halifax lad rather than a Bradford lad. How good is that for the club that there are so many of those homegrown boys playing in the blue and white?
Well, I think locally, if you've got players affiliated with your area, obviously my junior club's Queensbury, and if the juniors of that club can see that there's a pathway to being a professional athlete locally to them, at Halifax, at Bradford, wherever you are, wherever you're playing grassroots rugby, if there's a presence, a media presence, somewhere where you go and you see, the product, you see the players, you see the team, them kids are playing that game, and they're thinking, there's an avenue here. I can go play professionally. I want to play for my local club, and that's only can be a good thing. They're going to come to the games, they're going to invest in the club. And hopefully down the line you'd see them pull a shirt on for their local team.
Steve, we're telling me that season ticket sales are going very well. If you were to sit in front of someone now thinking, you know what, I might give rugby league a go, I might give this team a go, what would you say to them? Why should they come and support the boys next year?
I think we've assembled a good squad. Obviously when I was going through my contract talks, I sat down with Grixie and spoke about the brand that we're going to be playing, and I think we're going to play an exciting brand of rugby. We've got a strong squad. I think the championship this year in particular is going to be a really strong competition. I think all the teams have recruited well, and that can only create a great spectacle. So, you know, if people are interested in coming down, you know, there's a relaunch, a rebrand, you know, everything's moving forward. Come down, try it, and I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed. You'll see a fun, high-impact game, and there'll be plenty going on the field.
Just before I let you go, Dave, I just want to touch on that with you. There has been a drive over the last couple of years to try and make a Halifax Rugby League fixture an event rather than just going to the match and turning up. You know, just tell us a little bit about what you've done so far and how you're trying to enhance that next year so that it is a fun day for whatever you're looking for.
Yeah, I think in the past it's just been turn up to the game, watch the game, go home. But over the last 12, 18 months, with the help of a lot of volunteers at the club, we've started to work on another one of those volunteer groups is the match day experience. So people have worked hard on that, and we've done things. There's the five-a-side football pitch, for example, which is adjacent to the south stand there. There's been lots of things going on there, face painting and games and one thing and another, and getting some of the players to go in and mix and mingle. I want to do a lot more of that, and I think the south stand area is another opportunity for us that we can do that. Also interviews with the players. I know the banqueting suite's a key area, but we'd like to look at doing that in terms of branching that out for the other fans as well that come. So lots of sort of changes to do, but we've started that now. And we got some good feedback from that in terms of the volunteers, the work that they'd done, but also, children that were coming wanted to see the other mascot that we won't mention now because we've got 2 new Panthers. So I'm sure they want to see those as well, and they had some great fun with those. And long may that continue, and hopefully that networks and it becomes more of a match day experience, not just turning up for a rugby game for 80 minutes.
Brilliant. Well, gents, thank you very much. I think we've got one more man to welcome onto the panel. Ian, coming up. Okay, great. I just want to ask you a few questions, Ian, because you've been a big driver of this for a long time. You've seen the ambition of the club. You know where you want the club to go, what you think it can be. So we're here now. The Panthers is here. Oh, how are you feeling about it?
I'm buzzing. I think it's taken about 18 months to get to this point. The pressure is now on to produce the goods on the field to match all the hype. I think the squad that we're putting together, and we haven't finished yet, by the way, there still could be a little bit more coming in, just for a little bit more spice. The squad that we've built already is probably a little bit better than we've had in the past. That's no disrespect to the players that have left. But like I said before, we are in the entertainment business, so we have to entertain, and I think the mix, the age, the size, the stage is set. So, get yourself down and be entertained.
I'm sure you've got the attention of the fans now with some of your comments there. So, you've spoken to a lot of players during this period, and you've signed a lot of players that the club, the fans probably wouldn't have expected the club to be able to sign, but maybe just a bit more to come, is there?
You know what? The COVID has reset the model. The finance in the game hasn't changed, but the prices of the players has realigned, shall we say? So it's enabled us to allow the opportunity to go after players that we would not normally have gone after. And a lot of patience with my friend Simon here. We've played the waiting game, and we've been talking to players for a long, long time, and we've not rushed in. And like I said, there could still be the odd little addition. It's good.
I won't put the pressure on your head coach. I'll ask you then. So what can we expect from Halifax on the field in 2021? What do you think this squad is capable of doing? Asking you in, I don't want to put the pressure on the coach.
I think you're going to see a more expansive, more entertaining, flowing, basically what fans want. Fans want to be entertained. Winning a game 8-6, yeah, you win. But that's not what fans want to see. Fans want to see tries being scored. They want to see clean breaks. They want to see, long range tries, not falling over the line. So I think you're going to see a more expansive game, a more exciting game.
No pressure, Simon.
I'm not playing that.
Gents, thank you very much. Just before we wrap up, just to clarify, shop up on Friday, kit, merchandise, season tickets on sale now.
Yeah.
And everything going well, excited and Are you hoping now that this will be the key to really generating another spike in those sales that could potentially help bring in those players?
Well, that's the idea. It's a catalyst, really, I think, in terms of just to bump start it again. But season ticket uptake is way above in terms of comparison to where it was this time last year. In the sort of 2 or 3 weeks of being on sales, and we've over half already towards the sort of number that we were looking for in budget terms. So it's set off really well. So thank you to the fans for that. Appreciated.
Excellent. Well, gents, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and I hope that it's an exciting period for the club. And I think that's where. Okay.
A big thank you to those that have written
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Martin, is Martin there? I can't hear him.
I am, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, well, first of all, just congratulations to everybody on a very professional presentation today. It's a real pleasure to see a club looking forward and planning for the future. If I could just ask a question to, well, I suppose to all of you initially. Effectively, what you're selling at the Shea is Championship Rugby League. And to some degree, there's only so far that you can go. You've got to get the Championship competition itself with a much higher profile. And if you can, get it with a higher profile, then it's going to be much easier for you to be successful because, if you're going to increase your crowds, perhaps double them or whatever, you're not going to do it, as I say, unless the game itself has a higher profile. I just wonder to what degree you're confident that the Championship will raise its profile as we get playing again next year.
Thanks for that. I think there's certain things that we can control in our own destiny in terms of the Championship, and there's other things that are wider with regard to the governing body, which we can't control. So what we'll be concentrating on is what we can control. I think to Ian's point around the calibre of player that's become available, I think there's going to be some exciting games next year. I think the 5 or 6 teams I can think of already who've really strengthened their squads, and that's going to lead to better entertainment for us. And that's back to the point is that's a product that we're delivering. We can do an awful lot of work off the field, which we are doing, but ultimately it's on the field of play. That's what people want to come and see and enjoy. So 5 or 6 clubs definitely going to be providing that, and hopefully the season after is, another 2 or 3 join that, and before you know it, the Championship's very, very strong from top to bottom, and that drives a lot better quality of product. I think for Halifax Panthers, where we're looking to go, this is part of our strategy plan. So whilst absolutely we appreciate we're a Championship team, that's not the be all and end all for us. We're looking to work towards Super League, putting the right infrastructure in place at the club, both in terms of off the field and on it. So this is the start, and it's management speak, but this is the start of the journey for us. So, we've got higher aspirations, but at this moment in time, that's where I'd see the Championship and what we can do.
Ian, can I just go to you at that point? You've been in a lot of the talks with the other Championship clubs about a variety of things at the minute. Have you got anything that you could add to that?
Yeah, I think it's not just about the limits on the Championship. What we've got to do is we've got to capture the community. We've got to engage with the community teams and get it's an event. It's not just a game of rugby. It's an event. So we've got to maximise that potential and make that event special. And whether that be in the Championship or in Super League, that's the start. You've got to start with making the event maximise your potential.
Martin, have you got any more questions?
Yes, it's interesting. Everybody these days talks about we're living in a digital world, and of course that's aimed at, I suppose, young people like me, I guess. But the difference now, I'm a bit like Lawrence. I grew up in the same era. Sadly, I'm not quite as young as I claim to be, but really the difference between then and now is that you can actually follow your team nowadays 7 days a week, albeit only 1 day a week actually on the pitch. And, the smarter teams are doing a great job in terms of promoting themselves off the pitch, even in the close season. And I think one of the, I mean, you're doing that now, of course, yourselves. But I mean, one of the best examples is York City Knights, I think, who are doing a great job promoting their bid to get into Super League. So, I just think you're obviously aware of that, and I hope you'll, after this event ends, I hope you'll continue to promote the idea of the club, to promote its ethos and values and so on, and really just somehow start to get people in Halifax excited about what you're giving them. I don't know if that was a question, maybe a statement, but anyway, if anybody'd like to just pick up on that.
Lawrence, you go,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you've admitted you're a similar age to me, which means you should be drawing state pension shortly. There's a real straight answer to that. You're right about the digital age. 3 words: watch this space. Can't say any more than that.
Any more questions?
I'll let David come in.
I think David's okay, sir. Okay, so Martin's doing a great job. So you might need to repeat this. Martin's doing a great job if he wants any more questions.
No, apparently Martin's doing a great job. So Martin, you're invited to ask more questions if you want to do. If not, we'll wrap it up there and then.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I saw the very beginning of this event, but obviously a few years ago, the Halifax were called the Blue Sox, and I was one of the few people around who thought that was a really great identity, because it encapsulated the colour of the club and also, by implication, something that the town itself was famous for, and that's the textile industry. Panthers is a little bit more, not quite so obviously connected with Halifax, but I just wonder whether the Panthers was influenced by the Penrith Panthers in Australia, who are I suppose the original rugby league Panthers. Was that anything to do with it, or was this taken completely independently of their status?
Completely independently, nothing to do with them. They don't play the same brand of rugby that we do. They've got a lot to learn.
The final question from me is, as far as I'm concerned, success in sport is promoting individual sportsmen. In other words, getting people really keen on the people who play the game. And we don't do that well enough in rugby league. And just listening to Greg speaking earlier, I've got to say, I thought Greg spoke extremely well. And as a club, I think you need more of that sort of thing, more players like him who can talk directly to the fans and can really encourage them to come down. I hope to see more of people like Greg, with great respect to everybody who's not a player, but it's the players that really count. And I hope that as a club, you'll promote the players to give them a role off the field as well as on it.
Just to sort of pick up on that, the players at Halifax do have a very healthy relationship with the fans. Simon, I think it's something that's encouraged really to have that close relationship. They are often out with the fans doing various things. Just wanted to pick up on that. How important is it that the players do have that?
Yeah, the players are integral to the success of this delivery, really. As you quite rightly said there, they don't want to be coaches or administrators, they want to be the players, and he's brand new to the lads as well. So there's some real characters within our team, within every rugby league team, but they've probably not been pushed to push themselves out there, and it's a little bit alien to them. And Greg's been really good throughout this whole process, brought himself into it, and his 30-second clip was about 8 hours of work on it. Did a really good day for the club there, and it's come out really well. He's comfortable and confident speaking in front of people. Now, we are working in the background to make sure we give the lads as much opportunity as we can to get them out there. And I think it was it Elston who had said this on his arrival to Rugby League and Super League, that you want to create some household names, and that's where we need to get to, where the kids at Queensbury at first might be talking about Worthington, then it goes a little bit further than that.
You'll have to give him a pay rise after all of this, I think. Let's not mention that in front of Ian Crowe. I think we're wrapped up there. with all the questions that everyone has. So big thank you to gentlemen here, everyone who's been up taking questions about this great rebrand. Hope you've enjoyed what you've heard. I hope you're excited for the future of this club, and in 2021, maybe we'll. Oh, one interruption. Want to say something? No, we're wrapping up there. So thank you very much for joining us. Hope to see you next year at the Shea in 2021 and enjoying your rugby league. Take care.
Thank you.